Hi, I'm Abigail's grandpa's friend Tom. Hi, Miss Cannon. Hope your class enjoys our little experiment with the bees today. This little contraption is a smoker, and I need to get the smoker going in order to make the bees calm so I can work with them. If I can get them. And what we got, I have a little problem here today. I have bees in a hive I don't want them in, so I've got to get rid of the bees out of this one hive without getting stung too bad. And hopefully not stung at all. It's no fun getting stung. Because these bees can't get in with the new bees I'm going to put in here. Now dropping them like that will make them mad, but I want them to come out. Do a quick switch of some frames. And this is a frame. It has a bunch of honeycomb. The queen's going to lay her eggs in here and they'll make a bee. She'll lay over 2,000 eggs a day and they'll raise the baby. It takes 21 days to raise a bee from a little egg the size of the end of a needle until an adult honeybee. Now, this is 3 pounds of bees, and there's a jar of food in here. The queen is in here in a different cage, and I'm going to have to take the queen out, and then we'll be taking these bees and putting them in the super, which is the big white box that's called a brood chamber, and we'll be putting these in there. Now, does anyone in your class know why bees are important? The honeybees, and not only honeybees, but all bees, they pollinate the fruit crops, so you can have your oranges, your apples, your plums, and all your fruit. And a lot of vegetables require bees, wild bees and honeybees, in order to get our fruit and our vegetables so you can eat them in the wintertime or in the summertime and have good healthy food. Without the honeybee, we'll lose our food chain, and you won't have a lot of the good fruit that you're used to having and you want to have. Now I'm going to smoke them, which actually calms them down, so I can take the... Actually, I took my gloves off too soon, or put them on too soon. Now this is the tricky part. You got all these bees in here, and I got to get the queen out of her cage, and she's stapled in here. Got to get her out in this jar. Oh no! Oh, the tab just came off the queen's cage. Now this is going to be a problem. Oh, this is the first time that's ever happened.
Are you going to have a hard time getting the cage out?
Yeah, well, worst case scenario, I'll knock her out and find her. Because I got to get her out. She's in the cage and I've got to help release her. So, well, these gloves are not going to work. We'll take the food can out, slide the piece of wood over the cover, well, without hurting too many bees. Now my problem I have is if you take a look, I don't know if the queen has fallen down in her cage and is in the bottom of the box, and I got to get her out. So we're going to have to do it this way. I'm going to have to dump these bees in backwards and do this whole operation backwards. Normally I put the queen in first, but since I can't, we'll put this whole box of bees right in here. I'm going to turn it upside down gently because I don't want to bang that queen up too much. The queen is out now. She's in that little cage. We'll put the rest of the bees back in here while I try to, I've got to get her out. Well, I don't let her all the way out. I got to get the candy off her. Smoke everybody good. All right, the queen is in here. I don't think you'll be able to see her, but she's a lot larger than the rest. She's this bee right here. She's about twice the size of the other bees. It's this one right here, and she's right there. See how big she is? Hopefully you can see that. And now this cage has a cork in it where she's at. I've got to take the cork out, and inside the cage is some candy that they feed the queen. I've got to and the bees will eat the candy and release the queen. Oh, where'd my nail go? Over here. And I helped them out by putting a small nail hole in the candy. You gotta go real slow so you don't hurt the queen, because without the queen the hive will die. Alright, I got the hole made. Now comes the tricky part. I gotta get her in her home. Bees are flying around all right, but not too bad. I worry about the hive next door here that is still put away for winter. It's got its winter clothes on it. We always put some outside of it. We put some stuff, insulation on it to keep it warm. Now they got a different sound to them because they don't have their queen. They know their queen's not in their hive and they're upset about it. But I'll get her in there now. And you got to place her in between these two frames. Each one of these wooden things is a frame again. And I just push her into the wax. Bring up another frame, and I just try to do a friction fit. And I'll probably drop her to the bottom of the cage. No, we're gonna be good. Push her back in there. Oh, I don't like that. She's not sitting correctly in her spot. And I typically do this before I have all these bees loose in here. And I do it usually without my gloves on because I don't have very many bees. But I'm not big on getting stung if I can avoid it. And they're not very ornery or mean right now because the weather's pretty nice. There, that's better. Now they're going to release her, but I got to get the rest of the bees out of their box. And it may look like I'm hurting them, but I'm not. Give them some smoke. There's 3 pounds of bees in here, and they're mad now. Because I've got a ton of bees on me, which the way she goes sometimes. And this thing is the inner cover. And this goes on top before the lid. Actually, the last of the bees. You have a nice little brush so you can gently push them away from the edge so you don't crush very many of them. You always end up killing a handful. You try not to, but don't have much choice sometimes. And that's putting the 3 pounds of bees in a hive. And next year we should get 100 pounds of honey off this hive. Once she gets grown up and full of bees. If you watch the bees, you can see some of the bees flying back and forth. Like these bees here, they're flying back and forth of the hive. They're memorizing their home. So when they take off, they can go anywhere from 1 to 3 miles looking for food, and they'll come back to where their home is. But they're memorizing it. That's why they're flying back and forth in front of the hive. So they know that this is their new home. You can see when it's all, so you're right, done right. You're all said and done, I only have a handful of bees in here. They'll come out, and odds are they'll come right in this hive with the rest of their friends. Now since we're where it rains a lot, or snows all winter long, and it's cold, let's see, I put some food on this particular hive. Oh, look, I didn't even zip my pants up.
Oops. They
The
ate
spring
all
has
of
been
that.
late to get here. In here, she does need some food. And it's 1 cup of sugar to 1 cup of water. Is the mixture for the food. Fill up this big mason jar. And the lid has a bunch of, whoops, had a bee in there. The lid has a bunch of little holes in it so they can get the food out of it. I'm going to have to start checking this hive every other day for food. I checked it on Friday late, and now here, she's just about out. Well, Abigail, that's my experience with the beehive. I hope you enjoyed the video, and you all have a nice day and study hard. And remember, bees are our friends. We need them in order to have food, our fruits, and our vegetables. Bye, Miss Cannon. Thank you for this opportunity to show you a little bit about my bees.